First, let us define what is content and language integrated learning. Content and Language Integrated Learning, also known as CLIL, has become the umbrella term describing both learning another content subject such as physics or geography through the medium of a foreign language and learning a foreign language by studying a content-based subject. Okay, CLIL or Content and Language Integrated Learning is an innovative educational approach that merges language learning with subject content. Unlike traditional language learning methods where languages are often taught in isolation, CLIL embeds language instruction within the content of other academic subjects such as mathematics, science, or social studies. So, why is CLIL important? First, even with English as the main language, other languages are unlikely to disappear. Some countries have strong views regarding the use of other languages within their borders. Second, with increased contact between countries, there will be an increase in the need of communicative skills with a second or third. CLIL or Content and Language Integrated Learning is crucial in modern education for its diverse benefits. It enhances language proficiency, deepens content knowledge, fosters critical thinking, cultivates global competence, and promotes educational equity. In essence, CLIL serves as a potent educational approach nurturing language learning, academic achievement, cognitive growth, global readiness, and equity.
CLIL in the classroom. CLIL or Content and Language Integrated Learning assumes that the subject teachers can take advantage of opportunities for language learning within their lessons. Reading text provides some of the best and most common opportunities for language learning in CLIL. By incorporating the lexical approach, which focuses on vocabulary and word usage, CLIL encourages learners to actively notice and engage with language while they are reading. This helps them develop their language skills while also learning the content of the subjects. It's an effective approach that combines language learning with subject learning.
Good day everyone, my name is Yashami Bruce and now I will be discussing about how does CLIL or Content and Language Integrated Learning works. The first one here is CLIL involves teaching content subjects in a language that is not the learner's mother tongue, meaning to say that inside the classroom the medium of language that the teacher uses is not their student's native tongue or mother tongue, but instead another language like English, especially when teaching subjects like science and mathematics. For example, here in the Philippines, when the subjects are science and mathematics, the medium of language used is English, because if the teacher used Filipino language or our native language, when teaching science and math, it's so complex to understand the lesson or topic. And it's so weird when the mathematical equation is translated into Filipino language, right? And I know everyone is aware of that. And in CLIL, the primary goal of CLIL is to allow students to improve their language skill at the same time to also master the subject that they are learning or that they are studying. So the second one is language serves as a tool for learning content, integrating language into the broader curriculum, meaning language is like a key that helps students to unlock and understand the content that they are learning, but not just learning the language itself, but also use the language as a tool to explore and grasp the subject or the content that they are studying. So that's the second one. So the third one is CLIL enhances learning by increasing motivation through the study of language in natural contexts where learners acquire language to communicate about topics of interest. So, meaning to say, through CLIL, the learning becomes exciting by the use of language in natural or in real life scenario rather, in real life scenario in which the student or the students can relate and suit to their interest. Some of the real life situations where that inside the classroom is like doing activities like role playing, peer sharing, group sharing, and so on and so forth. By doing so, the student will be motivated to acquire the language skills and apply it or use it in communication. So the fourth one of how does CLIL work is CLIL focuses on language acquisition rather than enforced learning, emphasizing natural language development and real life situation. Meaning, CLIL is about learning a language naturally through everyday experiences or exposure rather than memorizing the role. It focuses on using the language in real life situation like conversation, discussion that helps students to develop their language skills in practical and more authentic way. So lastly, fluency is prioritized over accuracy in CLIL with errors viewed as a natural part of language learning. Meaning, in CLIL, it's more important to speak the language fluently and communicate effectively than to be perfect. Since you're just learning that language, you can't avoid to commit some mistakes and that's normal. That is a normal process, that is a normal part when you are just learning a language. So, reading was emphasized here because reading is very important for doing well in English over time. And also, reading helps students to become better to that language and also understand it more deeply. And also, reading regularly will help the students to improve their academic skills and become more proficient in English. So those are the ways or how does CLIL works. So now let's proceed to the advantages of CLIL. CLIL helps to introduce the wider cultural context and prepare for internationalization. This means that students learn about different cultures from around the world and it prepares them to interact with people and be ready to be part of global community. Through studying subjects in a second language, students not only learn the different cultures and way of thinking, but also it helps them to be more open-minded and be ready to engage with the world beyond their own. So that's okay. Let's proceed to the second advantage of CLIL. CLIL helps to access international certification and enhance the school profile. So, based on what I said from my previous explanation about CLIL, CLIL is a teaching method where subjects are taught in a language other than the student's native language, right? So, by using CLIL, schools can meet international standard and get certified, making them more recognized globally. This shows that the school should provide a high quality education that combines with language learning at the same time with subject content because it will help the school to stand out and attract more students from different background and create partnership with institution worldwide. And because we all know that being proficient in English is a valuable skill that offers students or everyone a lot of opportunities in education, career, and also our personal growth. So that's the second advantage. So let's proceed to the third one or the third advantage of CLIL. CLIL helps to improve overall and specific language competence, preparing for future studies and or working life. So Improving overall and specific language competence, especially in English, helps students prepare for future studies and working life. Improving overall and specific language competence, especially in English, helps students to prepare for their future studies and working life. Through enhancing their language skills, students become better equipped to communicate effectively, understand complex content, and engage with global audience. And this preparation is not only benefit for their academic performance but also set them up for success in the future. Just what I've mentioned, or just like what I said earlier, being proficient in English will offers a lot of opportunities towards success and fulfillment, especially nowadays. If you are good in English, if you can effectively communicate in English, there's a lot of opportunity for you as an individual. So now let's proceed to the fourth advantage of CLIL. CLIL helps to develop multilingual interests and attitudes, diversifying methods and forms of classroom teaching and learning, and increase learner motivation. So, encouraging an interest in multiple language, diversifying teaching methods, and increasing learners' motivation are key to developing well-rounded and engaged classroom environment. And through fostering curiosity for different languages, incorporating different teaching techniques, and boosting students' enthusiasm, educator can create interactive and dynamic learning experience. And CLIL approach is not only enhances language skills but also promotes social awareness or cultural awareness, critical thinking, and overall academic success. So those are the advantages of CLIL. I hope you learned something. Thank you so much.
Summarize of the topic of content and language integrated learning and cooperative language learning. So the content and language integrated learning is an approach to teaching that combines the learning subject content with the learning of a second or foreign language. The idea behind the CLIL is to use language as a tool for learning and learn how to use language effectively. While cooperative language learning is an approach that emphasizes collaboration and interaction among learners. It involves learning working together in groups or pairs to achieve language learning goals. Cooperative language learning encourages learners to actively engage with the language and learn from each other through meaningful interaction. Both CLIL and cooperative language learning have their educational benefits and drawbacks. CLIL provides opportunities for integrated learning of contents and language promotions, language acquisition, and subject knowledge simultaneously. Cooperative language learning promotes learner autonomy, social interaction, and the development of communication skills. However, implementing these approaches effectively requires careful planning, teacher training, and appropriate resources.
Hello everyone, my name is Trisha Antoinette Entabinga, and today we will going to report about the cooperative language learning. So first, what is cooperative language learning? So cooperative language learning, it is based on the idea that second language learning can be best learned when all students work collaboratively and cooperatively for one common goal. So it replaces the idea that students have to work competitively against one another. So here, learners work together in pairs or small groups to complete a task and projects, which requires them to communicate with one another, to negotiate meaning, and arrive at a shared understanding. So cooperative learning was introduced into American classrooms in the early 20th century by John Dewey. So he thought that people learn best through real-life experiences and believed that working together in groups helps us learn how to cooperate effectively. So the purpose of cooperative learning is to provide structured for learners to work together to learn both content and collaboration skills such as communication, conflict management, leadership, and decision making, while also strengthening their commitment to group goals and other group members. Now let's proceed to the goals of the cooperative language learning. So the first goal of cooperative language learning is to build positive relationship. So we should foster connections and trust among learners, creating a supportive and inclusive learning environment. So we should help students to become friends and feel good about each other. The second one is to provide experiences for social, psychological, and cognitive development. We should offer opportunities for learners to develop socially by interacting with peers, psychologically by gaining confidence, and cognitively by engaging in meaningful learning tasks. The third one is to replace competition with cooperation. So just like what I have said earlier, we should let the students know that they are not competitors in the class. We should shift the focus from individual competition to collaborative efforts, encouraging teamwork and shared success. So the fourth one is to promote communicative interaction in the classroom. So we should encourage students to talk, share their ideas, opinions with each other so that they get better at using language. The fifth goal is the learner-centered approach. So we all know that we have different diverse students, right? So in that way, we should tailor instructions to meet the diverse needs and interests of our learners. We should teach in a way that suits every student's needs and interests, making them feel in charge of their own learning. Next is to develop learning and communication strategies. So we should show students different ways how to learn and talk, how to talk effectively so they can do it better in school or even in their life or in their home. And next is to reduce learner stress and create a positive classroom climate. So that's one of the goal of the collaborative learning, is to have a supportive and welcoming classroom environment where learners feel comfortable in taking risks, making mistakes, and learning from them. So we should make sure that our students feel happy and safe in our classroom so that they can learn without feeling worried or scared.
We have three types of learning and teaching activities under the cooperative language learning: the formal cooperative learning groups, informal cooperative learning groups, and the cooperative-based groups. Formal cooperative learning groups. The formal cooperative learning group is the most widely used method, as almost all teaching examples provided in the online seminar were classified under this method. A formal cooperative learning group is when students work together for one or several class sessions to achieve shared learning goals and jointly complete specific tasks and assignments. These groups provide the foundation for all other cooperative learning procedures. They are structured through pre-instructional decisions, setting the task and the cooperative structure, monitoring the groups while they work, intervening to improve task work and teamwork, evaluating student learning, and processing group functioning. Informal cooperative learning groups. An informal cooperative learning group is one in which students work together in temporary groups that last for only one discussion or class period to achieve joint learning goals. Informal cooperative learning groups are used to focus student attention to the material to be learned, create an expectation set and mood conducive to learning, ensure students cognitively process the material being taught, and provide closure to an instructional session. And lastly, cooperative-based groups. Cooperative-based group are long-term, heterogeneous cooperative learning groups. Last for at least one semester or year, with a stable membership whose primary responsible is to give each member the support, encouragement, and assistance he or she needs to progress academically and develop cognitively and socially in healthy ways.
Now, let's proceed to the theory of learning. So first is the central role of social interaction in learning, Piaget and Vygotsky. So both Piaget and Vygotsky emphasizes the importance of social interaction in the learning process. Next is the development of communicative competence. So communicative competence, meaning this refers to the ability to use language effectively in various social contexts. So in language learning, the focus is not only on grammar and vocabulary, but also on developing the skills needed to communicate. Next is the development of critical thinking skills. So in language learning, students are encouraged to critically engage with texts, question assumptions, and express their own opinions, fostering deeper understanding in higher order thinking skills. Next is the use of language in different types of interaction. So language is a tool for communication, right? And language is a tool for communication, right? And learners should be exposed to various types of interaction, including interpersonal, one-on-one conversations, group discussions, debates, and so on and so forth. Next is students assume a more active role in the learning. So in contrast to traditional teaching where the teacher is the primary source of knowledge and authority, so here in cooperative language learning, we encourage students to take an active role in the learning process. They engage in collaborative activities, take responsibility for their learning, and construct meaning through interaction with peers. Next is the emphasis on cooperation. So instead of competing with each other, students work together towards common goals, supporting each other learning and success. So cooperative language learning operates on the belief that second language acquisition is most effective in heterogeneous group. So in the context of cooperative language learning, a heterogeneous group is consists of individuals with varying level of skills, language proficiency, backgrounds, and experience, where students collaborate towards a common goal, replacing a competition with cooperation. So this aligns with Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory, which emphasized the role of social interaction in language learning. So according to Lev Vygotsky, interaction is not only beneficial but essential for language acquisition, as seen in his concept of the zone of proximal development, where learning occurs with assistance. So cooperative language learning facilitates language acquisition through natural settings and interaction in pairs or groups, where the focus is on achieving a common goal rather than direct learning. So these approaches reduce language learning anxiety, as students use the foreign language as a tool for communication within the context of the task, encouraging active participation and minimizing fear of making mistakes.
We have 5 key elements of successful group and cooperative language learning: the positive interdependence, individual and group accountability, interpersonal and small group skills, face-to-face promotive interaction, and the group processing. First, we have positive interdependence. Positive interdependence means the group has a clear task or goal, so everyone knows they sink or swim together. The efforts of each person benefit not only the individual but also everyone else in the group. The key of positive interdependence is committing to personal success as well as the success of every member of the group. The second one, individual and group accountability. So the group is accountable for achieving its goals, and each member must be accountable for contributing a fair share of the work toward the group goal. The performance of each individual must be assessed and the results given back to the group. The third one, interpersonal and small group skills. In interpersonal and small group skills, they are required to function as a group or as a part of a group. These are basic teamwork skills, Group members must know how to be motivated, to provide effective leadership, make decisions, build trust, communicate, and manage conflict. The face-to-face promotive interaction. It means that students promote each other's success by sharing resources. They help support, encourage, and praise each other's effort to learn. Both academic and personal support are part of this mutual goal. The last one, group processing. In these key elements, group members need to feel free to communicate openly with each other, to express concerns as well as to celebrate accomplishments. They should discuss how well they are achieving their goals and maintaining effective working relationship.
So hello everyone, I'm going to discuss the teachers and learners role in cooperative language learning. So let's begin with the teacher's role. The teacher's role is to be helper. The teachers help students learn by guiding them. So dapat ay tinutulungan ng guro ang kanyang mga estudyante sa kanilang pag-aaral sa pamamagitan ng paggabay sa kanila. So the next one is the teacher's role is giver of material. So they give students what they need to learn. So ang guro ang nagbibigay sa mga mag-aaral ng kanilang kailangan sa kanilang pag-aaral. So the next one is goal setter. So teachers set clear goals for students to achieve during cooperative activities. So let's proceed to the organizer. So they organize and structures the classroom and activities to ensure effective learning. So the next one is supporter. Teachers check on students and help them when needed. So teachers must be inspiration by their students. So the last one is promoter of teamwork. So they encourage students to work together. So in-encourage ng mga guro ang mga mag-aaral na magtulungan sa kahit na ano activity na ibibigay sa kanila. So let's proceed to the learner's role. Number 1 is team player. Students work together with classmates. So nagtutulungan ang mga mag-aaral sa anumang activities na ginagawa nila. Next one is learning social skills. So they learn how to communicate and work with others. So dapat ay marunong silang makisama and makipag-communicate sa ibang tao. Sharing ideas. Students share their thoughts and listen to others. So, dapat nag-share ang mga estudyante ng mga ideas nila sa isa't isa at nakikinig sa iba't ibang idea ng bawat estudyante. So, active participants. They join in group activities and discussion. So, ang mga estudyante ay dapat na sumasali sa mga activities at discussion. So the last one is using the language. So learners practice using language with each other. So nagpa-practice ang mga estudyante sa paggamit ng wika sa pamamagitan ng pakikipag-usap sa bawat isa.
There are examples of collaborative language learning activities according to Olsen and Kagan. Those are the 3-step interview, round table, think, pair, share, solve, pair, share, and numbered heads. In conclusion, in cooperative learning, group activities are the major mode of learning and are part of comprehensive theory and system for the use of group work in teaching. Group activities are carefully planned to maximize students' interaction. For example, the use of discussion groups, group work, especially in teaching languages that facilitate students' contributions to each other's learning, and to increase the amount of student participation in lesson. Collaborative language learning activities can also be used in collaboration with other teaching methods and approaches.